Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today I'm going to bring you something a little bit different. You may say, I'm on the wrong channel. Where's the World War II warfare? Uh, we have played a lot of those games. They are my favorite genre of strategy games, but I also like to play all kinds of different strategy games, and this certainly qualifies as all different kinds. What is this? This is Trials of Fire, and I have been recommended this game by numerous people. It's gotten a lot of accolades. It's gotten very good reviews. I think an editor on PC Gamer even put it up for game of the year or his game of the year, and it is that good, and it's a bunch of different things. It's an RPG. You build your characters, you level up your characters, you move around a map, you go on quests and side quests. It is kind of that RPG style. It is also a deck builder. So you get cards of certain abilities, certain things that your characters can do based on, different things that you do in the game or different things that you pick. If you want to, you can kind of customize the different actions that they can do, and that's all done through cards. And then finally, it's a tactical combat game, and that's why I really wanted to bring this to the channel, because I think a lot of you would enjoy that aspect of it, and that's what we're going to look at today. If you've played Battle Brothers or something like that, it's that kind of tactical battles on the map that I think are really, really well done. And the stacking of the different things you can do and having different characters work together by the different cards they play, I just think it's excellent. Now, I just want to say up front, I have not been paid. This is not an advertisement. This is just a game that I'm enjoying right now, kind of playing on the side when I'm not playing war games. And I thought I would bring it here because I thought some of you might enjoy it too. I get sent all kinds of games to play, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I always want to be upfront with you whether I'm getting some kind of benefit out of this. I actually paid the $16 to play this one. It's a small new developer called Whatboy. I paid the 16 bucks. I think it's like 20% off on Steam now, just because I wanted to support them because I really, really am enjoying this game. So let's jump into it so you can see what the heck this looks like, and you can look over here on the book, credits, profiles, options. You get the idea. Codex will tell you more about the world and everything that's going on. You can look at the stats for your characters, the battles, whatever, all of the different cards. And let me tell you, I know some of you are going to immediately be turned off by the card aspect of this game. People either love card games or they don't like them. I will say here, they're just representative of actions that you can take. And so I think it's really, really well done. And conversely, if you enjoy card games, this is really right up your alley. But we'll get to that in just a second. And then combat tutorial, and that's what I wanted to do today. So you can see the map, you can see the visual representations, and you can kind of see how combat works. I thought we could go through that and you could take a peek. So everything is done in this book, and I really like the artwork. I think it looks pretty cool. You can see the cards over here. Each of your characters has their own cards. You can see one of our characters down here, the hunter. And we'll go through all of this. And we have one up here. You can barely see her. She's the warrior. So there are warriors, there are hunters, there are also mages, there's magic users, that kind of things. And then you have a whole batch of different baddies. In this case, I think we're fighting some what they call charred warriors, which are kind of just the general baddie. But then they have big bosses. They have, really expert villains of sorts and whatnot. But let's go through this. Over the course of your journeys across Ash, you will encounter monsters and hostile denizens of the land. Combat is turn-based and requires the tactical use of your party's skill cards to defeat the enemy. Each hero brings a unique deck of cards to combat, and you build that kind of at your specifications. And if you complete certain quests, you can get new cards. There are different kinds of cards. You can see over here basic, and then power, action, basic. We'll get into that. Representing their training, innate abilities, and equipment. Now, you do equip these characters too. Now, that's not something we see here. That happens before battle, but they can carry all kinds of different equipment, whether it be different swords, bows. They have armor. They can wear helmets. I mean, it's an RPG in that sense. Okay. All right, okay. To win a battle, you have to defeat all enemies on the map by reducing their health to 0. Here, your hunter and warrior heroes are facing off against a pair of injured, charred warriors, and you see them here on the map. These are their health points, all right? So they have 6 health points. Our warrior has 10. Our hunter has 10. So it's like hit points, right? Um, Okay, let's go on. Skill cards. Everything your heroes can do in battle is driven by the skill cards they have in their hand. Skill cards serve as your available actions and also the resources you will need to pay for those actions. That's important. Each member of your party has their own hand of cards highlighted on the screen. So you can see here the hunter, these are his cards. The color on the top of a hero's cards matches the color of the hero's counter on the battle map. You can see he's kind of a forest green, makes sense for a hunter, and his cards are forest green on top. Okay. Playing cards. Your skill cards are very versatile, as we will see, but we will start by trying out some of the basic skill card actions. Okay, now they've removed a card from our hand. Normally you get 3 at the start of each combat turn. They're just going down to 2 here to show us a little bit how they work. You now have 4 cards in hand, each with one of the following basic actions: movement, melee attack, ranged attack, and defend. What's the difference between these two? Melee, you have to be right next to something. Ranged, you can't be next to something. You have to be more than 1 hex away from it for it to be a ranged attack. Hover over each card in turn for a detailed description on the right of how the action works, and then click and drag from the card to an appropriate target. The block card does not require a target, so simply drag it anywhere on the battlefield. Okay, let's do that. Well, here's the block card. It says it's an action, and it tells you if you hover over it, it absorbs damage done to the character. All characters lose half of their remaining defense at the start of their turn. Don't get too lost in that kind of stuff. This gets very intuitive after you play it for a little bit. And so let's drag this out here onto the map. Okay, and when we do that, you see she gets a defend 4. What does that mean? Well, when this guy attacks her, instead of it going to her health points, he would have to get through 4 defense points first before it starts to subtract from her health. Okay. Um, all right, so we've played that one. We can also do advance, and you see here, move 2 and gain 1 willpower. Now, what is willpower? Well, it's going to tell us, but let's go ahead and play this card. So I just drag it out here with the left, and now he can move up to 2 hexes by playing that card, and he will also get a willpower. And also, I will say that he's going to go back there. These do act as blocking for line of sight. If I right click here, you can see his line of sight. Well, he's a hunter. He's probably going to do bow type actions. And so line of sight becomes important. All right, let's play that again. Let's move him over here where he has both guys, and you can see the eyeballs on top of them. He has both of these in line of sight. Okay, there he goes. Now he has a power shot card left. It's a ranged attack 3. Now that ranged attack, it's not saying there's a limit to how far that can go. The attack would do 3 damage points. Okay, and if you look over here to the right, deal damage to an enemy at any distance, may not be performed, or if you are adjacent to an enemy, blocked by enemy characters or obstacles between the attacker and the target. So if there was another baddie there, we couldn't shoot at this guy. It would have to hit the front defender, but you can shoot through friendly characters, okay? And also you can't shoot through these things on the map. Power shot. Let's just do it. Maybe we want to take this guy out, though. What does she have? She has a melee attack 2. Okay, let's pull that out here. And when I do, you can see she could do this melee attack and it would cause him 2 damage. Well, let's just do it. There he goes. He's down to a 4. All right. And when you hover over him, you can see what his line of sight is as well. He cannot see her, but he can see our hunter. Now let's pull out the power shot, and we could either do 3 here or 3 there. I mean, hell, I don't know. Let's weaken this guy. Okay, excellent. Don't worry if you didn't get everything straight away. You can hover over any card at any time to bring up a description of the effects. All right, cool. End of turn. And when you've kind of played all your cards and you don't have any other actions that you could do, click on there. It would then be the enemy turn, as you can see, because we're out here doing a tutorial. They didn't attack us. Now, normally they will. And as I said, there are a ton of different kinds of enemy characters in this game. Everything from elven mages to dragons to anything, ogres. I mean, anything you can imagine. Willpower. This is probably the number one point of this tutorial. After you click in turn, each of your heroes will draw 3 new cards out of their deck. Okay, so it's random, and that's why you want to build your deck as well as you can. You maybe don't want all combat cards. You maybe want some move cards or some defend cards. That's all, personal preference how you want to build your deck. But now that you've picked up the basics of playing skill cards, which is what we did, let's learn about willpower. Okay, let's do it. Willpower. Most skill cards require willpower to play. Requires 2 to play. That's willpower. The willpower cost is displayed on the top right of the card. The number in the center of the recycle shrine. That's this up here. You always have the recycle shrine no matter which map you're on. The number at the center of the recycle shrine at the top of the screen indicates the amount of willpower for your entire party available to use. Okay, right now we have 0. All right, you should be able to finish off one of the charred warriors with your power shot card. And if we go down here, you can see he has he redrew a power shot card, ranged attack 3. Well, certainly if we hit this guy, he should explode. This card, though, will cost 2 willpower. Oops, you can see it there. So first you'll need to generate 2 points of willpower. Any skill card can be recycled to generate a single point of willpower. So try recycling 1 card from your hunter's hand and 1 from your warrior's hand to generate the required amount. To recycle a card, either drag it onto the recycle shrine or right click it. Now what does all that mean? Well, we want to use the power shot, right? We have 2 swipe cards. We have a duplicate. Now, you can use them both if you wanted to, but we need willpower to do the power shot. All right. So if I right click on this, it discards. When it says recycle, just think of discard. That's what it's really doing. And now you see we have 1 willpower point. Well, that's not enough. If I click on this guy, he can't do his power shot. He needs 2. So let's go up here and look at our warrior, and you can play these in any combination. And so it just adds to an endless figuring out of exactly how you should play your cards. But let's say that, we have a duplicate of swipe here. So let's right click on one of those to discard it. Now we have 2 willpower points. So if I want to play the power shot, I pull it out here, and sure enough, it's ready to go. Whoop! Boom! See you later, buddy. And he is destroyed. Now, they're just moving this up here and moving our people around for illustration purposes. That wasn't part of the game. They're just going to show us something different now. In addition to generating willpower, any hero can recycle or discard a card to move 2 spaces on the board. Okay, to assist your warrior, you can move your hunter up to engage the remaining charred warrior. Try this by recycling the remaining swipe card in your hunter's hand. Remember to recycle a card, either right click it or drag it onto the shrine. Okay, right click, boom. We get 1 willpower up here. But now if I click on him, and that's what that power bolt's going around, it's like electro. You can now move 2 hexes because you discarded a card. All right, so that's the other thing that discarding can do. So they give you this dilemma of The cards are very useful if you want to play them and do something with them, but if you discard them, sometimes you have to get willpower, you can also move. And so let's bring him right up here into melee position. All right? Because that's going to allow us to do a combo strike. Now that your hunter is in place, he will be able to assist the attacking in attacking the charred warrior. Use your remaining swipe card to attack your enemy. You will need to recycle your other card to generate the willpower needed. Okay, if we look up here, we have 0 willpower. We need 1 for swipe. What does swipe do? Melee attack for 2 damage. Okay, well, we can't play it unless we recycle this. So block gives us a defend 4, but we need the willpower. So let's right click that. We've got 1 willpower point. Now we can drag the swipe out and he goes right over here. Now, before I release this, because I'm holding down the left mouse button, I will say because they're next to each other and he is lit up gold, it's going to automatically do a combo strike. And these can be very powerful. So they give you an incentive, even with the range characters, to move them up in the battle because these combo attacks can really, wreak some havoc. So let's do that. Boom, she hits him for 2, and then he added on for 1. Even though he did not play a card, he gets a strike at him. It's called a combo strike. Hopefully you noticed that your hunter joined in the combo strike for an extra damage to finish off the charred warrior. Positioning your heroes properly to take advantage of the terrain, like behind here if they had ranged warriors, and combo strikes while limiting your opponent's opportunities to gang up on your heroes is just as important as the cards you choose to play. Okay, well, thank you. Um, Power cards are different. Power cards are different type of a skill card. Rather than having an immediate effect, power cards give your heroes ongoing bonuses. So you're essentially, powering them up for the duration of the battle. As before, hover over the adrenaline card and read its tooltip to the right of the card for an explanation of how to use powers when then play it onto one of your heroes. Remember, you will need to recycle your other cards to pay for this effect. All right, so let's go over to Adrenaline and hover over it. What is this saying? Every time you play a card that deals melee damage, you gain 1 willpower. Well, that's pretty powerful, right? So if you hit at this guy with a swipe, let's say, which is a melee attack, uh, if you do that, you actually gain a willpower every time you do it. So it essentially makes this free. Um, and so how do we play this? Well, we could pull it out here, and then you can put it on any of the characters you want to, these power cards, right? So you could help out one of your other characters. But it costs 2 points. We have 0. So let's get rid of advance, which is move 2 and gain 1 willpower. Although we could play this because we're going to gain a willpower either way. But let's just discard it and we gain 1. And let's also discard swipe. This will also give us another willpower. Now we have 2. Now we can play the adrenaline card, and you pick who you want to play it on. Let's play it on her, the warrior. Well done. You can view the powers active on your hero or enemy characters by hovering over them. Important, although powers provide ongoing benefits, each power has its own health. This number right here, or resilience that is reduced whenever the character takes damage. So when you start taking damage, it also knocks down your superpowers. I always call these superpowers, they call them powers. Okay, whatever. When the card's resilience is depleted, the power will be discarded. So if this warrior takes 8 in damage over the course of this battle, bye bye power. But until then, power is active on her. Okay? Cool. Defending. Finally, we come to the third way to use your recycled cards. So we've talked about gaining willpower by discarding. We've talked about moving when you discard. This is the other thing you can do. Your hunter is still undefended. but you can use one of your remaining cards to protect this hero too. Any recycled cards that are unspent when you end your turn will be converted into 2 defense for the owning hero. All right? Try this now by recycling one card and leaving the other in your hand. So these are the hunter's cards. They're in green. He's standing up here. He's like, man, I don't have any way to kill this. All I can do is move. Let's right click on advance. And now you see a +2 there. Notice the +2 displayed on your hunter. This indicates that if you end your turn now, they will gain an additional 2 defense before the enemy's turn, as long as the recycled card, the one we threw up here, is not spent for willpower or movement. So you're seeing the lightning bolt, which means we could move him if we wanted to. We could also spend this willpower if we wanted to. We don't have any way to do it, but if possible, we could. Or we could leave everything as is, and he gets a +2 defense. Just like she has a +2 defense here, he would have to break through. This enemy would have to cause 2 damage before he even gets into their health points. Okay, so let's click OK. End of turn, fine. And you see he pops up a 2 because we didn't do anything with that recycled card except recycle it. All right. So now the enemy swiped at us. He played a swipe card. All that did was knock down that 2 defense to 0, but we still have all of our health points. During the enemy's turn, hopefully you notice 2 things. Your defense prevented you from taking any health damage when attacked, right? Because it hit the defense first. Your enemy has also played a power card. And you can see here he played a power card. And if we hover over him, you can see what it is. He played prepare. So this is his superpower now for the rest of the battle. He gains 1 willpower at the start of our turn. No, it says your turn. It actually means his turn, right? Gain 1 willpower at the start of his turn for every turn ongoing now. Your enemy also played that. You can hover over the charred warrior and look at that. Okay, we did. All right, the tutorial is complete. Well done. You've completed the combat tutorial and you've seen all the basic card effects in action. A few reminders. Any skill card can be recycled to either move a hero, provide an extra willpower point, um, for playing more powerful action cards, or to provide a little bit of defense at the end of the turn. Recycling cards is key to making the most out of each turn. Use what you've learned to defeat the remaining ones. So let's do that. And now we have a magic user, an elementalist. Okay, she looks like some kind of shaman. Not hard on the eyes either. Pretty character that may cause problems in this group later. She's in purple. Here are her cards. Swipe, Flame Fan. Now you're starting to see some of the different magic user cards that may come up. Now, again, there are a million cards in this game, and you can really build your deck to your specifications, but these are kind of the generic or general ones for an elementalist. Force Missile, and you can read these, right? Magic Attack 2, so it does 2 damage to a target within 3 spaces and to one random enemy within 2 spaces of the target. All right, so that's kind of a combo attack on its own. Flame Fan does 3 damage and inflicts burning, which hurts them every time. You can read about this on the right, to all characters in the target area, and you can see the target area or potential target area down there. She also has a melee attack, Swipe. You know, that's kind of the basic attack. But I'm going to get rid of her Swipe because, you know, really, she's a magic user. Now we can either move her, all right, or we could leave it up here and she would gain +2 defense if we don't use that willpower. Or we could play a card if we had enough willpower, but we do not yet. And so we're just going to wait with her. Well, tell you what, no, we're not. I want to move her up here and get her into line of sight. Well, was she already in line of sight? No. Let's move her up here so she's in line of sight. Now, she's a magic user. You got to look out. She does not have good armor, at least not yet. You know, we don't want her to get too close to these baddies, but let's finish these guys off now. And how are we going to do that? Well, the hunter could advance, but we don't really need him to advance. She could do, I say she, the warrior could do a swipe. He's got 3 health points. A swipe is worth 2, but because this guy's here, we're going to get a combo attack, which would add a third damage. So let's go ahead. Let's discard her advance for now. Okay. Uh, oh, let's actually go look at this power card. You want to play your power cards if you can right at the start of the turn. So offensive stance, all attacks deal +1 damage. And you may say, why wouldn't I play this? It doesn't cost any willpower to do it. Well, you may need it to discard it to gain willpower, right? You may want to gain willpower. So just something to think about. We also have prepare, which is gain willpower at the start of every turn. Well, we definitely want to do that. That's a bonus that we like to have. So now here's his superpower, and for the rest of this battle, at the start of every turn, he'll gain 1 willpower. Okay, let's look and see if we have any others. We have an action, we have a basic move, we have this other power that all attacks deal +1 damage. Well, let's play that on him too. We could also loan it to her. Let's do that. Let's give it to her. So she's got 2 superpowers. She's now got, you can have up to 4 on a character. She's got adrenaline, so every time that you play a card that does melee damage, you gain 1 willpower. All right, so if we play this, we're going to actually, it's not going to cost us anything. So let's do that. Because of that superpower card, she will also gain, let's go back to her for a second. She will also gain because we gave her offensive stance. All attacks deal +1 damage. So there we go. Boom. He's dead. He's gone. All right. Now then, she has a swipe card left, but we really don't. I mean, she's not close enough to swipe anything. So let's discard that to get a willpower point. She also doesn't need defense because nothing's close to her. So the best play for that is to build up a willpower. Now he has a ranged attack here. All right. So let's try to get him into range of something. If we do advance, he will move 2 and gain 1 willpower. Well, that's good. All right. So let's get him down here. And you can see the eyeball down on that charred warrior way down there. If I put him here, that guy's in line of sight. We gained a willpower and we still have the power shot. So let's do the power shot. And you'll see here, we cannot hit him. He's not in our line of sight. We can hit him. So let's do that. And that caused 3 damage to him. All right. Now then, we have 1 willpower. She has 2 cards. Each of them costs 2 points to play. So what are we going to do? Well, you can always leave 1 card in your hand. So if you want to carry it over into next turn, you can do that. We could also discard a card where we don't use the willpower, so she gets some defense, some +2 defense before their turn. Or we could discard one, get a second willpower, and play the other one, right? So let's look at this. Magic attack 2 to a target within 3 spaces and a random enemy within 2. Well, unfortunately, they're not within 2. Flame Fan does 3 damage and burning to all characters in the target area, but you see down there the range is not very great. It's 2, although we could put it on that guy. Let's do that. Let's discard that one. And now she can play Flame Fan to this guy. And you can see it moves the range around so you can see who it would get. Let's get him. Boom! We put the fire on him. Now that will also deal a damage. Burning. Suffer 2 status damage at the end of your turn or whenever you suffer magic damage. So every time now at the end of his turn, he's going to take 2 damage because he's on fire. Well, he's already charred. Damn. I mean, this guy, insult to injury. Now we've played all of our cards, okay? And we have nothing left to do. We don't have any other points, so now we got to turn it back over to them. We draw through 3 new cards, but now he's going to come attack our magic user. You can see the cards that they play. He played a melee attack. Ooh, now they're ganging up on us. Um, In addition to their skill cards, each hero, oh, we already talked about this. They have a talent, right? So the first card she plays costs -1 willpower, right? So if we play this card, gain willpower at the start of your turn. Let's actually do that. We want to give her superpower. Oh, and you can also undo. If you want to undo, you can do that. Let's see what else we have. We have basic action, basic. Okay, so no superpowers here, but they've already got some superpowers. Let's give her one. Okay, 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 I get it. Let's give her one. Okay. She actually needs to move back. Well, that's maybe not true. All right, we have one point here. She can do her magic spell into this guy. Let's do it. Whoops. There we go. She could do it into either one. You can see I can move that around. Then when I let go of the button, boom, 3 points. She blew him up with her unstable blast, and she could also do it to this guy if we get 2 willpower. Now he has got 3 advanced cards, and this is why you want to build your deck well. You never really want to see this because he's got ranged attacks, right? I mean, we want this guy to be shooting his bow, but that's not going to be possible. So now that I discarded one, though, I can go here and redraw. This is what it's telling you. This is how many redraws you built up, and if I click that, it gives us a redraw on that card. Okay, so now we do have a power shot, but we need 2 points to play it. Let's discard both of our advanced. Gosh darn it. Let's discard both of those, and let's do our power shot. All right, it costs 2. We have 2. And now you can see that will do him 5 damage if I just do the power shot here. Let's do it. Pew! And he's gone, and we've won the battle. Victory. We did take 2 damage with her. Now, I had talked about the RPG aspects of this game, and I wanted to just show you those very quickly. All right. And you can see here, there's a campaign that you can play, the Trial of Fire. You also have different, like, smaller quests. Like, if we look at the Water Gem quest, retrieve a living world relic to help save your dying people, 90 to 120 minutes. There is a whole backstory behind this game. It's not all combat. I just wanted to show you that. They also put up a daily challenge. So, these change all the time, and you can come in here and always get a fresh challenge if you want. Um, then they have just seasonal things, different scenarios that they give you. But they have these lore quests, and I'm just going to click on Water Gem. Here is our party. Now, again, there will be other characters available, but we're just going to do the easy one. I'm not going to play all the way through this. I just want to show you the map. And I have already started this one, okay? And so let's go out to the map. Oh, we're in battle. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to the main menu because that was the scenario I was already playing. Let's just start the trial by fire, okay? And let's continue run. Please tell me I'm not in battle in this one too. My gosh, man. Well, I'm going to have to go to one I haven't started playing yet. As you can tell, I've enjoyed the game. Let's just go to the daily challenge. Sure, sure. Oh, and this does show us a couple of new characters here, okay? And you can build these, level them up. They kind of come with this stock equipment, but then you can, build what you want as far as equipment and whatnot. The settlement of Terralyn is dying. You must travel to an elven palace to locate the legendary Waterstone. Okay, we'll do that. Sure. Return to adventure. You also have to rest. You have to gather food. These are magical herbs to heal yourself or to craft things. There is a crafting component to this game. These are your obsidian coins. Here is your character. Here's what he's carrying. Here's your inventory. He has an armor level, quality, the damage that he could possibly do. It's really a lot. And you see the map here. It unfolds on this book. I think this is all really cool. And here's our party. Okay, here's our guys. You can see them over here to the left. You can always click on them to bring up your character, but we'll just go back there. There's the map. It tells you for your quest the direction you're supposed to travel, or you can go over here. These are different, just interesting things. And if you want to go explore them, your party will move over here, but they start to get tired, and you've got to eat, you've got to sleep. You come across the skeletal remains of a vast creature, a common sight in the grasslands. You spot a burrow opening nearby that looks large enough to crawl into. We can crawl into the burrow. This tells you what the chances are of bad or good things happening, or we could just leave it alone. Well, let's crawl into the burrow. That sounds fun. Raston just about squeezed into the burrow, carrying a makeshift torch. He continues around a slight bend into an empty cavern. Okay, well, now we're in the cavern. And you can see the mini map up here, and you just keep moving around and you find things. So if we get over to one of these, probably this one, let's just go over to this question mark. Now we're going the wrong direction. Our main quest is that way. The plume of smoke alerts you to burning caravan up ahead. Bodies of ratlings and humans litter the area. Attempt to salvage something from the caravan before it's consumed in flames. You may get burnt if that happens. Ignore it. Um, Shirok's hardened skin will make weathering the flames easier. Oh, our guy Shirok down here has, our assassin has hardened skin. Okay? He goes about gathering what he can. The flames lick her skin painfully but cause no damage. Continue. And this is what we got out of that caravan: bone, wood, treated leather. Like I said, you craft things in this game. So we'll put those in our inventory and we can upgrade our weapons with that stuff eventually. Okay? Let's look. What else is here? Oh, we found some food. We found a new bow. I'm not going to go through every. Oh, I'm sorry. You find a settlement that has recently been taken over. At the settlements, you can buy things with your obsidian. So let's buy some food. You can also right click on that, and that puts it in our inventory. This went from 3 to 10 to 4 to 10. Let's continue because I want to show you something else. Right now, we're determined and fresh. As you start to get tired as you walk around, you've got to sleep. And so if we go back here to the settlement, we can rest if we want to. All right. And so if we go down here and click on this, stamina, oh, actually, it's not going to allow us to do that because we're already fresh. So anyway, uh, our main mission goes this way, so we would start going out this way. But it's just limitless what you run into. This is a huge map. There's all kinds of quests, etc. But anyway, I think I'll stop it here. You've gotten an idea of what this game is all about. I think it is a lot of fun, and there are just endless combinations. It throws together all of these different genres of strategy games, and so I thought it was something you might enjoy. Anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Hopefully, you enjoyed this as much as I did, got you interested in the game. Go out and support this smaller developer. I'm sure they would appreciate it. So, anyway, Strategy Gaming Dojo. Talk to you next time. Have a good one.